Panda Trooper TK2886 from Outer Rim Squad, Badlands Garrison, and FISD. How's it going? My first crack at a video, I don't know, sort of how-to or tip. And today I'm doing some weathering on some armor. I'm not an expert by any means. This is kind of my third armor build and maybe my fourth or fifth helmet, but my first time weathering. But you know, you gotta just go and try it. And I've been a sort of professional illustrator and art director and designer for about 20 years, so kind of using just some traditional painting techniques to try to make it work. You know, obviously you can look at a lot of the reference pictures from the films, and what I did actually, I wanted to try to get something a little bit more, you know, realistic or real world. I had read in some of the books that they used oil and dirt and sand kind of mixed together to do the weathering. So I just had this sort of you know, piece of junk white plastic. It's actually one of those things that you put your Dremel tools into. And I actually took some oil. I took some, you know, 1030 weight oil and mixed it with dirt and sand and kind of just wanted to see what I would get. If you kind of take a quick look, you know, the dark areas with the dirt, obviously, where it's settled in, it's gotten really, really dark. And the oil has actually got a really kind of neat texture. It almost kind of gets very warm colored. It's not black, and it's not brown either. It's kind of actually got a bit of reddish brown to it. I know a lot of people try to mix a lot of different colors. You know, you've got some troopers like Rolf TD252 that kind of does, you know, the one color approach, which is cool too. I sort of wanted to try to see if I could replicate a bit of that kind of oil, dirt, mud look like this. And this is kind of what I got. This is a piece of thigh armor that I did just over the course of the last few days. And basically I'm only using, I mean, I'm using a bunch of different base colors to mix, but I'm only using kind of two applications of the paint, sponging it on and weathering it. You can see it's, you know, it's pretty cool. I got it all nestled in there in all the nooks and crannies. Even the areas that you think are just sort of pure white, they're actually not. If I bring it up close, you can actually see the texture there. And it really does kind of look like the oil if I kind of put the two side by side here in frame in the camera. Actually pretty close. And I'm not trying to get it perfect, I'm just trying to get a really similar look to it. So, you know, how did I go about doing that? It's actually not that hard. I can do it pretty quick. I'm just going to put this aside. A couple things you're going to need. You're going to need paint, of course. I'm using some acrylic paints. I know people have talked about using the Woodland Scenics. I've used those before too for other stuff. It's kind of more of a craft acrylic paint. Being an illustrator in the past, I find that, you know, companies like Liquitex and stuff, they spend a little bit more on binders. That's the stuff that actually holds the pigment together and makes it stick to the armor or stick to the canvas, whatever it is. So I like to use, you know, just a little bit nicer paint. Just got these from an arts and crafts store. Amsterdam's kind of just a, you know, a cheaper student brand. But the colors I'm using, that's kind of what's key here. I'm using burnt umber, which has been talked about before. I'm using just a basic black. And then I'm using a little bit of this warm gray color, and I'll sort of show you how I'm going to use them. I'm going to use these two together, or sorry, these three together, and then a coat of this. Some other stuff that you're going to need some weathering sponges. You can get these at like paint stores or home reno stores. I got these in a bag like this, and it came with like 6 of them in there, and they're only $6 for like 5 or 6 of them, so they're not that much. You can use like bathroom sponges as well too if you can't find these. Paintbrush, you can use a bristle brush. I'm just using a cheap foam brush here for if you want to get into nooks and crannies. A tip here is to not use the foam brush kind of brand new. Usually it's got like really squared off edges. What I did was I just kind of plucked away at the top here to make it a little bit more ragged, and it'll give you a little bit more texture when you want to get into the nooks and crannies. So one of the things that I kind of discovered, oh sorry, one more thing, is just a rag. Try not to use a terry cloth, or sorry, a smooth, you know, t-shirt or something like that. It's not really going to work that well for this method anyways. I know other people use paper and that kind of thing, you know, the crumpled paper towel trick. This is just the way I'm doing it, so you don't have to do it this way. Change your techniques as you go, right? This is just an old, you know, beat up bathroom towel. It's obviously just kind of like a rag now downstairs here in the laundry room, but this is the one I've been using. It's got a great texture to it. It's just worn out, and that's why it's a rag, and that's kind of a little bit better than using a brand new towel. So